and away we go.
This is a Movie Loft podcast with Tony, Phil,
Hi.
and Tom, and we're here in the barn loft of the Henry Putnam Jr. House in beautiful, scenic, bucolic, Christmas fairic, Danvers, Massachusetts, bringing you the movies from the greatest decade known to kiddom. And as always, we're proud to be a part of the Writer's Bone Podcast Network, so you can check them out through your Google portal or Opera or whatever browser you use, whoever you support. Hotbot. Is that what you use?
I'm going to ask Jeeves, man.
I just hate that I go right to Google and just assume that it's like Google is like Kleenex. It's like, no, that Kleenex is not tissues. Tissues are tissues. Kleenex is a brand.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, Google is a brand.
Yeah, like
it's
Band-Aid. Pass me the Band-Aids, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the same.
Yeah.
The Google AI is kind of shady too, a little.
You think?
Like that's taken our search thing over.
You know what? I do.
If you really dig into some of their answers, it's like, yo, that is wildly incorrect.
I wish that one of these like eggheads would get hip to like, not all of us want this shit on our phone. Do you know what I mean? And like give us like a button to just disable it.
A jettison button, like the junk hatch, you know, in space where they just shoot all the shit out.
I'm not interested in it. You know, John Connor has taught me that it's not necessary. So
Can't stop what's coming.
I know, right?
That's vanity.
You know what's coming? The ghost of Christmas past.
Oh yes,
we are here for our wonderful annual Christmas podcast that everyone looks forward to all day until it comes out. And
the anticipation is palpable.
Morning.
Yes. And I figured we'd talk a little bit about Christmas music at the top of the show because I've actually given it a little bit of thought. I always have a stock answer that I just like them all and there's too many.
Okay.
But I've boiled it down a little bit to some favorite Christmas songs. And let it be known to all the people in the land that I love all Christmas songs. Except
and confirm.
Dominic the Christmas Donkey, which is a blight on Christmas.
Come on.
Hey, jingity jing, it's Dominic the
We've talked about this.
Jingity jing, the Italian Christmas
It's
donkey.
the one Christmas song that us Italian Americans can celebrate as our own. I am an Italian American.
I'm not taking the bait.
First generation. I'm fresh off the boat from Canada. And I mean, I do like that song. I do. Hee-haw, hee-haw, yeah.
Wow.
Like even in the summertime.
Verbatim, same conversation we've had.
Did we? Okay.
I remember.
All right.
Baby toys.
Yeah.
We don't need to tread this ground.
No.
again,
For the
but
newbies though, this is a bone of contention.
It is. What about Christmas in Killarney?
No, I don't know that one.
The holly green, the ivy green, the prettiest picture you've ever seen is Christmas in Killarney with all of the folks at home. It's nice to know to kiss.
Oh, okay. That's a Bing Crosby one.
We did.
It's a jaunty little. Well, so is Dominic the Christmas Donkey.
We did.
I mean, it's so spastic. It's so like
I can't even.
frantic, you know.
Yeah.
Beep-bop, beep-bop, dun, 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 you know what I mean?
He's Dominic the Christmas Donkey.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, you know what I mean? It's like
Hee-haw.
different music.
Oh, you've got to hear it. When you listen to this,
You know me and my love for Italian American culture.
Yes.
so
Yeah, I think you're famous for it.
go listen to it and tell me how you feel
The
about
trick
it.
is get a little NyQuil with a little vodka and some soda in it. Have a couple of those, then pop the song on when you've got a nice little buzz on, and it'll change your life. It's
I'm down.
You'll see the Christmas donkey.
I'm fully.
He will reveal himself.
It will manifest in the corner of your apartment and just
I'm
start
fully into
kicking
that.
shit.
You'll see that kick coming to the side of your head while you're worshipping the porcelain pony there.
Because we did favorite Christmas songs last year, and I wonder if they would be the same this year.
Well, for me,
I don't remember what I said.
I think I
remember what you said.
Last year you were going down a rabbit hole. I think you said like, "Oh Holy Night," and then you listened to every version that anyone's ever made, kind of thing.
Good poll, dude.
That could be any year. It's like a deck of cards now. They all kind of fold together for me. But I have said that my favorite artist is a four-way tie, and I'm going to adjust that answer. I usually say it's Bing, Johnny, Nat, and Andy Williams as a four-way tie for first. So Bing for me is hands down, not even a question, the king of Christmas.
The king of Christmas.
The absolute king of Christmas.
I don't know how anyone could argue with that.
And then, well, here's what I was thinking too.
I just don't think it's possible.
Let me run it down for you, and let me know what you think of a couple of things here. So, and then it's Andy and Johnny and Nat, and then after that, the second tier for me is Dean and Perry and Burl Ives.
Where?
And then after that, it's Ella, and of course, Judy Garland.
Are you demoting my bro to third tier for this? Fourth tier?
Your bro is Perry Como?
Oh, Sinatra's a top three for me.
Sinatra would be in the third tier with Dean and Perry.
Oh, by gosh, by golly, it's time for mistletoe and holly.
And Burl. Well, there's Bing, then there's Andy, Johnny, and Nat, and then there's Sinatra. I'll put him with Dean.
It's a marshmallow world in the winter when the snow comes to
I have to.
cover the
There's
ground.
just something too stoic and austere about the way Bing delivers it. And,
I agree with you, number one.
And what I was thinking
King
about
of
this
Christmas.
is it's interesting that there is no... Well, Nat owns the Christmas song and Bing owns White Christmas, but the Christmas songs, they're kind of like community property. So anyone can have a crack at them pre-1970s, and you have a chance at having the ultimate version of it.
Yeah, for me, I agree with all that. It's hard for me to not smuggle in like their presences on all their Christmas specials. You know, like I got to fuse all those together because to me,
well, it's hard to pull it apart. Like the list I sent earlier, and we'll get into that. The list I sent you guys to order.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to get favorite Christmas movie or just favorite movie for this list. So it kind of went both ways. The seesaw was kind of, for each decision, it was tipping a little bit one way or the other, whether I'm ordering them in my favorite of these movies 1 to 11 or the favorite of these in Christmas movie thoughts 1 to 11. So kind of the same thing with these Christmas recording artists is they all inhabit the songs so differently. So differently. There's the pious ones, there's the joyous ones, and Bing is so different than Frank, and Dean is different than, there's Bing, then Frank, and then Dean takes it to almost a comical level, but it's still really...
he inhabits the spirit.
Charming,
you know.
Everyone inhabits it differently. Nat can do a little bit of both. Nat can do like caroling, 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 and it's a nice jaunty song.
Caroling, caroling, now we go. Christmas bells are ringing.
But then when he does like Oh Holy Night, he can kind of hit that Bing area where it's just very... It's almost like you're in a huge cathedral and you're just listening.
Everything comes flooding into clear perspective.
Yeah.
Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices. Oh, night divine.
So here's I'm going to run down. I did 6 of each. I broke it down into joyous and pious. If that's even right, I don't know. So joyous, obviously, it's the most wonderful time of year, and that's Andy Williams. He owns that song outright. I love all versions, but that is that. And this isn't in order. My second one for joyous would be Silver Bells. I absolutely love that song. And I don't know why some versions start with city sidewalks, busy side, and some just start off silver bells.
Silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city.
I know
Remember the
that.
commercial that had like the Time Life commercial with all the hits?
Yeah, yeah.
And Silver Bells.
There's something. I mean, I just love
Calm
that
down.
It's a little
song.
sprinkling of melancholy to me, but
If you really listen to it, it's
Which I love about
it's
it.
about it's people in the street shopping and all that. It's about the emotion of
brushing past you, etc.
Yes, yeah.
Straight shouldering you
Straight. That would be.
to get that Cabbage
That's
Patch Kid.
another list. Santa Claus is coming to town. the Christmas song, which I do love, and Caroling, Caroling, Caroling. And that one's Nat's version. Not all of these are associated with an artist. Some of them are any artist, but some of them are owned really well by a certain artist. And the last one is Sleigh Ride. Sleigh Ride is such a great song.
It is a good one.
Just hear those sleigh bells jingling, ring, ting, tingling too. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Outside the snow is falling and friends are calling you.
And my pious ones would be Silent Night, O Holy Night, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, The Little Drummer Boy by Harry Simeone, that 1958 version is the tops. Do You Hear What I Hear? And
very contemplative, that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one's...
Call and response.
Yes.
And Here's a Who.
Yes. And Faith of Our Fathers, which to me is the Bing version.
Yeah.
That one
deep
is
cut.
very... That's like a carrying a stone.
It's strong.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Faith of our fathers living still, in spite of dungeon, fire, and sword.
So those are my 6 of each. You know, kind of a little bit more reflective and a little bit more joyous.
What's the one about King Wenceslas? What's that all about?
King Wenceslas.
King Wenceslas did something, and good King
That's
Wenceslas.
where's our PA?
Yeah. Wait, did we give the PA the holiday season off?
Yeah, our piss
Or
off.
did you fire them outright
Alf, piss
for
Alf.
being inept?
No, we don't have them. You can look that up.
King Wenceslas or Wenzel? Or am I getting that mixed up with the pretzels?
King Wenceslas. Good King Wenceslas.
Wait.
Good King
Yeah, this one, yeah.
on the feast
Oh, yes, on the Feast of Stephen.
I don't know this one.
I know the melody.
Deep and crisp and even.
brightly shone the moon at night.
Pavarotti over here.
Something. But this is the best part.
When a poor man came inside,
Having winter fuel. It's range, guys. Can't teach it. Can't teach
And
it.
he has a cold. Wow, then that's a Bing. I must have it on my
Is it a
playlist,
Bing
but I
Okay.
don't know. Yeah, that's Bing Crosby,
That's Bing. Wow.
who
Dude.
also has.
He was gathering winter fuel. I love that part.
Bro, you just went full Pavarotti.
Wow, and you're
Sick.
in there talking about how fragile you are, recovering from a cold. You don't want to do anything to set you back, and now you just
To put
up-
it into perspective, the way that I felt when I was sick this past week is think of a freshly hatched bird that fell out of the nest into a puddle. That's how I felt all week. I was not well.
poor Woodstock.
I had a rough go of it, guys.
Well, you're here now, and you're here to bring joy to all of our listener. Phil, what about you? I mean, Tony, I'm not even going to ask you to go further down that road. You delivered in spades on that.
You know what? It doesn't like. I know this is going to sound maybe a little bit shitty of me, but they kind of all have the same festiveness to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know how to describe it, but
I get it. I get it.
yeah.
As long as you're not hating on it,
No,
I get it.
no,
They
no,
can
never,
all
never,
sound similar, and
Yeah.
they just all give you a certain feeling. But I mean, you made all my research and consideration like a fly's fart in the wind. So, with your concert. So, what about you, Phil? You got anything this year?
I'm trying to find new stuff every Christmas. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, not like excavating old things as new. I mean, like things that I've never heard and whatever. And I always, like YouTube pushed me this like ambient Christmas thing. You know, it's like a visualizer. It's like 3 hours long, help you sleep
Okay.
or whatever.
okay, yeah, that sounds awesome, like sleepy time.
Yeah, and I was just chilling on Sunday, and it's like a little scene of like a snowy village in the mountains and like soft snow, whatever. And I was like, okay,
I've been running those continuously
You know
in the
what I'm
house.
saying?
Snowy. Yeah, I have a few
Right,
that
so
are like 4 hours long that I've been doing.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if you just search like Christmas carol, Christmas songs, ambient. It'll probably be the first thing that comes up. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like good ambient music. Ambient music is, it should be. How does Brian Eno define? Brian Eno once said it. Good ambient music is as ignorable as it is accessible, meaning that you can, not pay attention to it and it will fucking work.
Right.
Or you can really pay attention to it and you're like, oh shit, what's going on under the hood here?
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And these, it was just someone who took, I don't know, some people caroling or a church choir or whatever, and just added some soft analog effects to it. Some reverb, distanced it up. It wasn't like this washy, completely all immersive. You're at the fucking, you know what I mean? Like the aquarium type shit.
Yeah.
But it also wasn't there was nothing direct about it at all. And man, it swept me up.
That's cool.
I just
I
sat on the edge of my couch for an hour and a half, just sort of
okay,
looking at the TV and then looking out the window and looking at my tree and looking at the TV and looking out the window and looking at my tree, and then it really got me by the balls, man. It was really quite nice. And
yeah,
I think
I can see that. Yeah.
maybe 10 or 12 just carols,
yeah,
but just with that little soft gloss over it.
Okay.
So that was a nice little Christmas musical discovery. Anyone who wants to just mellow the fuck out, I would recommend that. Great for reading. You're having a little Christmas party where you don't want intrusive music, but you want something on. Christmas morning when you're opening the presents type shit, whatever.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve when you're having that glass of bourbon. That was nice. But in terms of the classics, I got my Sinatra Christmas playlist that I curate. It's probably 5 hours long.
Right on.
And I'm always adjusting the order of songs and stuff.
Right
but
on.
That plays almost at all times.
I love Sinatra and I love his
for me.
Christmas stuff. There's just something that the other guys pull out ahead on, just because. Well, Sinatra is so Sinatra, and it's hard for me to separate his person from his music. So when he's singing Christmas, I'm thinking, yeah, I know what this guy is doing after he sings this song. So
it's tough, yeah.
I know what he's going to do.
I mean, same with Dean Martin.
Well, yes. Well, he was just going to be falling down drunk, allegedly.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Allegedly. Wow, you guys really delivered on that. There's Christmas is. I was thinking this week too it's a funny kind of nostalgia because there's real nostalgia and there's imagined nostalgia, and Christmas has a lot of imagined nostalgia for me.
Manufactured nostalgia, yeah.
Yeah, as I was talking, well, for myself, imagined especially. I was talking to my buddies last week, and they were a little bit down on certain angles of Christmas, which is common in adults, and I get it. And I just realized that, I run away with my imagined nostalgia. My real nostalgia about the reality of my Christmases, they are what they are. They're mine. I love them. But I'm always mixing it up with, everything that you want it to be and everything.
It's in the blender, man.
Yeah. So that, and between that and the movies and the music, it becomes an amalgam of something that I just can't let myself get bitter and down on too much.
Well, you give yourself over to it every year.
Oh, I do. I do hardcore. As a matter of fact, I've got Sadie now. We've gone to Christmas tree lots and picked up or broken off the end of branches, and she's carrying around sprigs of Christmas trees in her pockets and taking out the pine needles and breaking them in half and rolling them and sniffing them.
Oh my God, that is the best.
It is the best.
That's like a shared thing that we've all.
I have branches down on the workbench. I have pine needles right here.
Anyone wants a little budget ghetto ass hack for this, which I've been doing my third year now. Under the fake tree, I have these wax scent melts.
Oh yeah,
one is the balsam and
cedar.
About
oh
okay.
So it's you think the tree, it smells fucking incredible.
And it's at the supermarket, right?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Which you go to Market Basket or Stop and Shop to get those?
I go to the Stop and Shop on Enon Street or whatever, Dodge Street or whatever it is.
I gotta try.
I figured just open a bottle of Beefeater and put a tea light under it.
Right.
One of those
dump some candy canes in there.
Yeah, but that's the thing with the smell of pine needles is it. Just like the music and just like certain things, it's exactly as it is. It's like you can climb through a wormhole into your childhood home when you smell pine needles.
Absolutely, yeah.
At the right time, And it's just like that, This would also be the time of the Christmas season. I'd be going to CVS with my mother to get like wrapping paper and different supplies, and she'd be grabbing the chocolate-covered cherries or the fiddle faddle and the crunch and munch to eat while she was wrapping the presents.
Big ass CVS or just like normal?
No, they were normal. I mean, because this was in the 80s, you know, they didn't have those big ones then. But it opened where Jordan Marsh was. When we moved to Malden Square in 1980, Jordan Marsh was still open, but within like a year, it became like CVS. A year or two, it became CVS. But
I heard your father was a bookie for Jordan Marsh. My uncle was a bookie for Jordan Marsh. Anyone who can place the movie.
The Departed.
Yeah.
No? Who is it? Eddie Coyle?
Good Will Hunting. Yeah.
Oh, Good Will Hunting. Well, yeah, I guess I wouldn't have got
Let me
that.
tell you something. You're suspect.
Why don't we do this? How are we going to do this list? I gave Tony and Phil a list of 11 Christmas themed type movies to put in order, and I don't know how to do this. Maybe I'll just post them in a carousel on Instagram, but I've got to read them because not everyone goes to Instagram.
Yeah, why 11 out of curiosity instead of 10 or?
Well, mostly because of Spinal Tap. Anytime I go near 10, I just default to 11.
Oh,
I'm like, I can get to 11.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know I can do it.
My 0 for this, by the way, meaning actual one, should have been Eyes Wide Shut. Great Christmas picture.
You're
watched
ground
it last
0.
weekend. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the interesting part of this list is that Tony and Phil both have tonight's movie at number 11 on the list.
Okay.
And Tom,
one of our movies.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Tom has it at number 1.
Wild. Did we tell the listeners which movies we were?
We are, well, they get it from the
they
from
must.
the title.
I mean, they must know by now.
We're doing A Christmas Story, and we are also going to talk about
yeah.
Black Christmas a little bit. But let's do this list first. And
this was a great opportunity for me to just not fucking think.
How am I
going
to do this?
That's what I did.
I saw you did the same thing.
I went, all right, in my mind,
could tell.
What do I want to watch?
Right.
What do I want to
yeah,
watch?
these are the
Exactly.
questions. For me, it was going back and forth like Christmas, or am I going to a desert island, or like quality of film.
What do you want to watch? It's
Yeah.
Christmas time. End of
So,
story.
Here we go. Tony, this is I'm going to go from 11 to 1 because obviously you want to hear the top last. Okay. 11 to 1. Here we go. A Christmas Story, White Christmas, Elf, Charlie Brown Christmas, It's a Wonderful Life, Rudolph, and here comes the top 5. Gremlins, Home Alone, Christmas Vacation, Scrooged, Trading Places.
Vintage Tony.
I mean, that list. That
as
list.
a child of the 80s, these are the movies.
No, I mean, that rang true to
Yeah.
the T-Bone I know
Yeah.
and love.
I know I do have a special place in my heart for It's a Wonderful Life, but
Yes.
that movie can get a little heavy.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. It could get long, and
Yeah.
That's not you can have it on loop from Thanksgiving to Christmas
It's
movie.
heavy duty,
Yeah.
so it's like...
Yeah, I got to find a time to watch
I will
that.
say I do get lost in the when George goes to like the seedy nightlife era
Yeah, yeah.
of Bedford Falls, and I'm like, that looks like a good time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you, that looks like a fun night.
I'm glad.
Which
I'm
reminds
glad
me
you
that there
feel
was
that
this
way.
movie
It really does.
called The Apartment with you guys know
Yeah,
Jack
yeah,
Lemmon and Shirley
MacLaine.
MacLaine, thank you. And also they go to these awesome bars at Christmas time in the very early 60s.
Oh, I have to check that out.
If you have
Same,
not seen that
same.
movie,
It's been a
that's
while.
a movie you gotta,
That'll be on.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's how
Notching
if they
that.
have a remaster of that, because I'm sure I love the colors in those 60s
I have the DVD,
movies.
so
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Well, I'll
Let me
download
know,
it. But
yeah.
if I really like it, maybe I'll get a really good print of it because I got a new player, guys. I'm not going to go into that. Anyways, here's Phil from 11 to 1. Christmas Story, A Charlie Brown Christmas, Rudolph, Wonderful Life. Tony had that one higher at number 7. Number 7 is Gremlins, then Scrooged, and here's Phil's top 5. Trading Places, Christmas Vacation, Elf at number 3. Shocker for me.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, White Christmas. Number 1, Home Alone. And number 0 is Eyes Wide Shut. I know Jen will be happy to hear that. She's been trying to get me to watch that too after she heard you talk about it, and I took a big shit on it to her too.
Elf, like, we could talk about this till we're purple in the face, and I have don't want to belabor this, but like, you get older and you try to recapture the Christmas magic, and you go down memory lane, and it's a nostalgia fest. And I try every year. I know you try every year. I know you're like somewhere. You're not a hater. You're like, please just fucking end. Like, I can't fucking stand people like that. But I get it. Maybe there's some trauma associated. It's all good. Yeah. But we're definitely on the side of like, try to reclaim it. And every year it like never really quite comes together, unless there are kids involved. So like my nieces and nephews, watching them come online to Christmas in the last 20 years, from the ages of 23 as the eldest, all the way down to 5, and like Elf is a tradition in their household.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I'm usually there for it. When I am there for it, it's just that's the magic.
It's a fun movie.
The movie's a blast.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would want it like playing on repeat again from like Thanksgiving to Christmas.
Yeah.
Home Alone, like literally I could have that movie on at all times, 24/7, tag in and out of it, whatever. White Christmas too, because to me it's certainly more austere than a lot of the picks in here, which I love. That has many qualities about it. The Greatest Generation tie-in, all that. But yeah, Elf, like, that's the movie where the little ones that I know in my family are just like, it's fucking Christmas, dog. Like, let's watch Elf. And I'm like, that goes a long way.
Hey, renewing your spirit at Christmas is a multifaceted
I'm all about
exercise. And I love that that's why that's important to you. And look, it is a fantastic movie. I don't think there are any other classics in that time period, and they did it.
Oh, God, no.
That's a classic.
It's just funny to me, the generational sort of like, juxtaposition, for lack of a better word, in this one, where Elf is a very wholesome, very sweet, very like, to me it reminds me of like a Christmas book come to life type of thing, but then you put it alongside like sleazy 80s Christmas movies like Trading Places and Scrooge, and those were really more like, because they were a little more true to what I was experiencing
edgier,
at the time. No, just because, like, the taxi cabs, the sounds, everything to me was more authentic to my timeline. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you see, like, little kids, like specifically the scene where Bill Murray steals the cab from the old, and he's like, bye-bye, Grandma, bye-bye, Grandma. Yeah. And I, to this day, like, I'll just be apropos of nothing going, bye-bye, Grandma. And I like those little moments to me are very 80s, very late 80s specifically.
Yeah.
And then, for a younger generation, like post 2000s kids growing up watching Elf, which is, arguably the Christmas movie of their era. Do you know? Because I don't think a movie has come along.
No, it's not even really up for. No one would debate that. Yeah.
Like widespread acceptance as like this is like a bona fide Christmas tradition at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and good for Will Ferrell to be part of that. Yeah. And hey, we've got Ed Asner and we've got Bob Newhart in there.
The movie is a fucking classic.
Bob Newhart, rest the soul. Yeah, the guy was so awesome.
Yeah. So here's my top 11 guys. Oh, this is bad timing. Elf. Home Alone. Rudolph. Gremlins. A Charlie Brown Christmas. It's a Wonderful Life. White Christmas is number 5. Trading Places. Scrooged. Christmas Vacation. And A Christmas Story.
Unbelievable.
All right.
Yeah.
That might go down as one of the funniest moments in one of our podcasts.
It might. Hopefully we've got some more in there, especially seeing as we're just getting into this.
Disclaimer. These movies are all tied at number 1, and this is for sport.
So there's no need to really pull apart those lists. For me, I know and I knew, I didn't realize it was both of you guys, that this was at the bottom of your barrel of Christmas stuff. And I really think that there's a saturation problem with this movie. I think people have been clubbed over the head with it starting in 1997 when they started the 24-hour marathon. But I do think that.
I never watched any of those, by the way.
Okay.
Never saw it on TV once.
No.
Yeah. I know it was there, but I didn't. I just did. It never made its way onto my radar.
To me, this is a perfect movie, and this is one or two of the reasons why I think so. If you really just sit and watch this movie and watch all the acting and listen to the dialogue and listen to the narration, it really absolutely feels like you're watching real life to me. You know, there's period pieces, and sometimes you can tell they're going heavy-handed, and sometimes you can't, and they do a good job. This literally seems like it was filmed in the 40s, other than the sharpness of it, the look of it. Yeah. There's very little to pull you out of it. And the brilliance of the narration, the way it's objective and subjective. They're kind of talking about the past, and then the narration is in the moment, too. It's just a really cool thing, which kind of got carried over to the Wonder Years.
Well, I mean, like, I never saw like the TBS marathons with it for some reason. Like, the channel would just flip over, just would never land on that in the household, which was fine. I didn't feel compelled to watch this until like, and this might be one of the things that's missing for me, obviously, like my early 20s. I was like, what's this movie that everyone talks about? A Christmas Story? Like, oh, is that the movie with the kid, like, with his tongue on the frozen pole? Like,
yeah.
Oh, that's a dumb gag. But yeah, okay, cool. Like, I'll check that out. So I finally, like, it wasn't until my early 20s. Now, if I'd grown up with this and it would have been on ambiently again, like on TBS 24-hour marathon, whatever.
That may have said a little bit.
Maybe it would have been a different story. But, like, all I know is, like, like, if there's one time of the year, I'm trying not to be a clinical, surgical hater with everything. Yeah. Not that, it's Christmas. And, like, all I know is that, like, I tried to, like, early 20s, sat down, like, sometime in the Christmas season and, like, couldn't get through the first half hour. And then, like, 6 or 7 years later, I was like, must have been a bad year. I'm going to do that again. I couldn't get through the first 40 minutes. And then,
then it's
10
real.
years later, like, I couldn't get, I've never been able to get through the whole movie. I find it, it's just like, not that, it's kind of cynical. Like, there's nothing other than, like, jokes and narration. Like, there's no, I was thinking about it today. Like, think about it this way, right? Home Alone. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but in the first script of Home Alone, like, actually the one, like, the shooting script, like, John Hughes was done with it. This was going into production. There was no, like, Jacob Marley. I mean, not Jacob Marley. No Marley, the guy with the shovel, the old man. Like, he wasn't in the script.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right? And the movie ended, like, in the original script with, like, Macaulay Culkin being like, oh, like what? So what did you do? And he's just like, oh, not, I just sat around, and like it froze framed, like it was a freeze frame, and then like the movie ended, and that was it in the original script. You think about like Home Alone, and then there's this whole like not epilogue, but this whole like addendum on the end that's like Marley seeing his granddaughter and his son and reconciling, and
right.
Macaulay Culkin like smiling out the window and like, God damn, man, like that gives that movie like heart, like Christmas, positivity. I'm there for it just this time of year, Yeah. Now, like, Christmas Story to me is like it just ending on the freeze frame of like, a bunch of gags, cool, like good stuff. And it's like there's nothing underneath it. There's nothing animating it to make it like, to give me any feels other than like, oh, that was well done, or I guess that was kind of funny, or like, yeah, that's cool. Like, just when I watch it, there's nothing like happening that like draws me in on like a human being level.
Well, I think of it
like Trading Places. Nothing draws me in on a human level either.
Well, you can't.
But it's fucking. I mean, you can't deny that. You can't deny it. It's a totally different kind.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, I think to whittle it down, like a Christmas Story, just for me, it's like some kind of like identity crisis movie where it just was like, what are you going for here? Like, because nothing landed for me with all these viewings, and I wasn't trying to hate it.
Yeah.
I just could not finish the thing.
I think that if it didn't set its hook, then it's not a film that you like. It's not. I don't think if you saw it when you were young, it would have been that much rosier for you, because I think this. Yeah. I think this movie has such a pull.
Right.
That if it didn't grab you, then it's not going to. My thing is, it's got the friends in it. It feels like your school vacation going into that when you're a kid. It's got the real family dynamic. Like, I love Home Alone, but there's nothing real about that family dynamic or anything going on in there. It's all set up to get where they're
Well,
going.
yeah, but there's an
And
escapist element, and that's kind of like
for
part
sure.
of Christmas.
And that's
to
what
me.
we
It's
love about.
I will say this, and then go ahead, obviously, but
yeah.
I know that this movie is so special to a lot of people, and like no hate whatsoever.
Yeah.
I know that like, man, people who are passionate about that flick like fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
And I love that for them. But yeah, like I can't get
I
through it.
can't,
I just can't finish the movie.
I can't defend it for those people. I can only try to defend it for myself because truly,
I love the way you described it, man. I really do. I think that's great.
I don't like the armies lining up because I feel like the 24 hours and the saturation and everything. I feel like it's like the band, you know, when they get big and then they're like, these aren't our fans that are here. You know, I feel that way about how many people like this movie. I think it's great. I love that they love it, but it's not like I associate with them. For me, it's a very personal journey.
Fair.
And I think that the net that they cast with how much it's been shown just pulls in. And great. You know, if everyone truly likes it, they truly like it. But, you know, as usual, I don't want to be associated with most people. So.
Right. You are on this one.
Yeah, I know. What about you, Tony? What do you
Fun movie, a lot of laughs. There are some really, really amazing moments, like the Ovaltine build-up. You know, I love that, like sort of pounding on the door, and he's decoding the message, and you know, he gets his first foray into sort of like commercialism, I guess. Great little scene. But again, I've seen that movie a fucking million times.
Does it help either of you that Siskel and Ebert both?
I watched their review.
Liked
I watched
it?
their
They
review.
both
Yeah,
liked
yeah,
it?
yeah.
So
I mean, it's not
no, I'm
like
kidding.
it's
Roger Ebert is my actual god, but I didn't agree with him all the time. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, I think it's a good movie. It's a,
So, question for you guys. Though. It was '83. It came out, right?
Yes.
And you said the TBS broadcast started in '97.
Yeah.
So was it kind of in like the public, you know, consciousness around the holidays, especially? Was it just not really there until the '97?
I really don't know. I don't know when I discovered
Like, do you remember?
this movie.
Do you remember kids talking about this at school and shit? Or
I
like,
do.
Okay,
Yes,
right.
I
on.
do.
I was
Because
really
it was
curious
on-
about that.
like HBO. You know what I mean? It would be on like HBO
Yeah.
during the holiday season. Stuff. You know, it was one of those. It was one of the few movies that had that sort of blur on the lens, that sort of like Vaseline lens, I guess. I don't know what else to call it.
No, yeah,
like
yeah.
1941 had it, and that's also a Christmas movie.
Right.
Yes.
But like,
And I
this
would
was,
watch that over.
We've done that movie, but we just
Yeah.
haven't
and like
released it.
kind of going down the rabbit hole with it a little and researching it a little like a dork. Like I couldn't tell if like this had just completely, because it wasn't a box office smash, right?
I think it came out in like the summertime.
No, November 18th.
Did it? Okay,
It
all right.
was
They were saying, like,
3.2 against 19.3 or something.
Right.
wow.
Okay. Yeah. So that's not a dud by any stretch.
No, it's not. It was, but they were totally left alone to make it. They wanted Bob Clark to get on with making movies they wanted him to make. You know, Porky's and all that. They just said, okay, go make this movie so you can get on with making the movies we want you to make.
Got you. Cool.
So he was just left alone to do this.
Gotcha.
Literally, completely left alone to do it. So it's as it was intended, you know. And Gene Shepard's narration voice is absolute magic, you know. But then again, so is the guy from Home Alone, Daniel Stern, who narrated The Wonder Years. It's a funny
Daniel
connection.
Stern narrated. Oh wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that holy shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
The Wet Bandits strike again.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, they do. They do. Okay, so we'll get back to the movie then. I think we should take a little break for Tony's test here.
This is a song about a superhero named Tony. It's called Tony's Thing.
I was hoping for a Christmas miracle that it wouldn't happen.
You're gonna get a Christmas miracle right here. This is a good one too, and I think that what you're gonna end up doing here.
Are we doing Black Christmas or are we doing Christmas
No,
Story?
if Phil wants to look up the date of Black Christmas release and bring up that Billboard Top 10 while I'm doing this, that's great. You can do two back to back. If not, we'll just do this one. I think you're going to get 9, anywhere from 8 to 10 here. You're going to get.
Now, bear in mind, I'm only banging on 3 cylinders here. I'm still.
So you're doing better than usual.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the Billboard Top 10 from November 18th, 1983, starting at number 10.
Okay.
Say It Isn't So.
Hall & Oates.
And don't you forget.
I had to do that for you. Okay. Suddenly Last Summer.
Oh, God, I know the song.
This song is absolutely
Kim
brilliant.
Carnes, I want to say?
No.
Suddenly
Last
summer.
The Motels.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Okay. One thing leads to another.
The Fix?
And don't you forget.
Yes. Okay. Love is a Battlefield.
Oh, Pat Benatar.
And don't you forget.
Yes. Total Eclipse of the Heart.
That can't be another Pat Benatar, is it? No. Total Eclipse of the Heart. Is it Heart? No.
No, I'm surprised. I
No.
thought you would get
Sorry,
that one.
no.
That is Bonnie Tyler.
Okay, yeah.
Great vocalist.
All right.
Come on, feel the noise.
Quite right.
And don't you forget.
Yes. Islands in the Stream.
You
got
I was going to do it, but it's Kenny Rogers.
Yes.
And I don't know who he's singing with. Dolly Parton?
And don't you forget.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Uptown Girl.
Billy Joel.
And don't you forget.
Yes. Say.
Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney.
And don't you forget.
Yes. All night long.
Lionel Richie.
Yes. You got 8 out of 10.
All right, I'll take it.
So
I'll take
you
it.
get the cheesy piece.
Black Christmas was December 20th, 1974.
There's no chance.
Not even worth.
No chance.
So I clubbed
I'll
it.
just give you like 3.
Seals and Crops.
Oh, so I'll be your backup and see if I can get it.
Okay, all right.
No one will get this. I mean, this is like helpless.
Yeah.
Do it till you're satisfied.
No.
We're gonna edit this all out.
Okay.
I Can Help.
Sorry.
Billy Swan. Junior's Farm. Sally G.
Sorry.
Paul McCartney and Wings. Sha La La, Make Me Happy.
Sha la la la. Is it that one?
Al Green.
Oh, okay. No.
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Beatles?
Elton John.
Elton John. Okay.
You're the First, the Last, My Ever.
My Everything. Oh, is that
You might get it.
Is that Barry White?
It is.
Okay, I'll take
Wow.
When Will I See You Again?
Oh, when will I see you again? I love that song. Reminds me so much of my mother. It is just
It's a great song. How
how am I
don't know
not
who sings
getting
it.
this? I have
my
it on
mom's
my
life was
playlist.
on
The
the
same
line.
way I
would
didn't
never
get
have
Bonnie
known.
Tyler.
Yeah. Who is it?
The 3 Degrees.
Oh, that's why I didn't get it.
Angie Baby. Helen Reddy.
No.
Kung Fu Fighting.
Oh, how am I not going to get this?
No idea who
The
sings
guy's
that.
Carl Douglas.
Carl Douglas.
And Cats in the Cradle.
Oh, that's
Cat
Cat
Stevens?
Stevens.
I thought it was too, but this is Harry Chapin.
Oh,
Was
Sneak
was-
Attack.
Was Yusuf N'Dour? Was Cat Stevens? Was that a cover?
I don't know.
No, but Harry
think it-
Chapin did that one where about the cab
Yeah,
driver
because
and
I think
shit.
Cat
Yeah.
Stevens was like 72 or something.
Interesting. Okay,
We
well,
got a couple
we're not going to edit that out because some people may get some of those. I do get people saying, I was yelling at the podcast.
By the way, speaking of like the crazy music, if you haven't, you got to watch that Yacht Rock documentary.
I did. Thank you for...
I absolutely adored it. It was one of my favorites.
Was it? I mean, the problem for me is it's the week before Christmas, and I was like, oh man, I just want to just listen to all of this.
I know. I feel
endlessly.
kind of
It's very
whack,
summery.
like
It's
doing
very
anything.
summery.
I know, but like it's in the queue, bro.
Yeah.
I have good. Wait till after
Yeah.
Christmas because then you can dig into the music. I
To,
have to
to
wait.
me, that music is quintessential summertime.
oh,
yeah.
Like-
and it is masterful.
Yeah, like
It-
with a nice cool breeze coming off the
And the
Atlantic.
production on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, the production is
25 high noons deep.
Okay, November 1983 newsworthy stories, in my opinion. Michael Jackson Thriller single is released worldwide on November 2nd. November 10th, Marvelous Marvin Hagler retains his middleweight boxing title against Roberto Duran. First time Hagler went all the way, taking it to the distance, 15 rounds. November 17th, Yentl premieres. I just put that in because I remember being like, Yentl? What the hell
Babs.
is this? November 20th, 100 million people watch ABC TV movie The Day After.
I remember that.
Huge
It was
deal.
I
frightening,
bet. You
frightening.
were one of the 100 million.
Yeah, well, no, I wasn't allowed to watch it because it was
Oh.
too scary.
That's true.
Oh, that shit fucked people up, dude. Yeah.
November 30th, Radio Shack announces Tandy Model 2000 computer. Tandy.
I used to fucking love Radio Shack.
Yeah, so did
Because
I.
back then you could
The remote
buy-
control
Oh,
cars in the 70s, I got those for Christmas.
Well, you could buy kits and make your own radios and understand how electronics work and shit.
Yeah, you could buy
I
components.
remember
and
all
stuff.
that.
They would my parents would get me the little kits to make radios, to
Do a
make
little soldering.
launch pads for like rockets and these little balsa wood kits and stuff. Man,
What do we miss from this? I miss service merchandise. I miss Radio Shack. What else do we miss from
service
the 70s?
merchandise? Didn't let you.
No,
had to-
you looked at stuff on the shelves. I just liked going there with around Christmas.
the-
We'd go and my mother would shop and
No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Lechmere.
Lechmere.
was gonna say.
You have to bring the ticket, and they would put it on a conveyor belt.
No,
Also,
that's what
was it-
Speaking of
oh, okay.
service
speaking of
merchandise
Lechmere,
would do that too, unless I'm wrong.
speaking of Lechmere, another great YouTube find. Quality. I've probably brought this up on Christmas episodes before, but there's like a 45-minute someone just going around Lechmere in the 80s with a VHS camera.
Yeah, that's what we love.
It's got to
That's
be
what
the
we live
Liberty
for.
Tree Mall one, but I don't know.
I think it is because I think I've seen it before.
it's got the Christmas music
well,
and everything.
Oh no,
dude.
the kid that I'm thinking of worked at Child World there, and he went around the store at the Liberty Tree Mall,
sick.
and they showed the Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, it used to be a pewter pot.
Yep.
But this was in the 80s, so I think it was still a pewter pot at that
Yeah,
time.
that was the Levitts, Lechmere, Marshalls, Ann and Hope.
You'll love it at Levitt's.
Let me do the albums, and then let's get back to
Okay,
think
sorry,
about
yeah.
what has closed in the 70s. I used to love going to Zayre.
Well, Zayre's, but they pushed into the 90s, like
Oh, I
Radio
know,
Shack
but I
and-
would go with my mother in the early 80s, like December 23rd at like 11 p.m., and it looked like a third world country. Everything was on the floor. I mean, it was like the public just took over the place because it had been going, for weeks. And we would do that late night shopping. She'd go pick out something for your grandmother, pick out something for this. And I just remember all the clothes, everything on the floor
Wow.
off of the racks.
Wait, that was Lechmere?
Zayre.
Zayre's?
Yeah. Or Zayre's.
Right now, something incredible is happening at Zayre because we're kicking off Christmas with a sale that runs round the clock until late Saturday night.
Christmas is coming, we're gonna get you humming. Save and save.
Save on gifts 24 hours a day.
All day and night we'll be there.
All day, all night, till Saturday night.
We'd like to make Save your store.
Don't miss a single minute.
Damn, that's sick.
But yeah, we'll get
Good
back
memory.
to that. Right after November 1983, Rebel Yell, Billy Idol came out. Corey Hart, First Offense, close to my heart. That's the only reason I have that in there. I'm willing to admit it. Duran Duran, Seven in the Ragged Tiger. U2, Under a Blood Red Sky.
Under a blood red sky.
And You Broke My Heart in 17 Places, Tracy Ullman. And Adam
She was
Ant,
great, yeah.
Strip. Yeah. Oh, Tracy Ullman, don't get me going on that. Don't get me going. We'll start talking about crushes of the 80s. I used to carry around a list with me.
Speaking of that, we can move into Black Christmas, maybe.
We can move into Black Christmas. Let's go, Phil. Phil, tell us about your adventure.
Yeah, I went to see a 50th anniversary screening of this last Thursday. I got the night off randomly, which I never get Thursdays off, and I just pulled like a last minute Audible. Never seen it, wasn't familiar with it. I'd heard about it. I knew that it predated Halloween as like the original slasher film, but I always had been meaning to watch it. But I was like, oh, chance on the big screen, I'll go mess with that for sure. So I went to see it last Thursday. Loved it. But I spent like 80% of the movie trying to be like, where the hell is Margot Kidder from? Like, I know she's in something. I know.
That
It was
sucks.
but it was just one of the, because Superman was like, I mean, I watched it for sure, but it wasn't like on the
Wasn't ubiquitous.
Indiana Jones, Star Wars. Like, I've never been really like a superhero guy.
Okay.
It's just not like part of the lexicon. You know what I mean?
That's okay. I mean, but that movie did come out in 79?
79. Yeah.
So I feel like maybe it missed you just by a
totally.
fucking hair,
But even like,
because I wasn't a superhero guy either. But when that movie came,
it was
on,
a big deal, right?
That hype music,
Oh, the music, yeah.
I mean, I love.
and then all of a sudden you'd be like in your pajamas,
Right.
all hopped up on Little Debbie, like fuck yeah, you know.
I love it. Yeah, like I mean, I didn't dislike it. It was just not like if it was Karen Allen or something, I would have been like, "Yo, shit!"
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, that's someone who you
But-
could mix up. you know.
Exactly. And for a minute, like there was a 0.5 seconds. There was a kid. No,
That's funny. That's who I do.
Could not.
Now I
place
know
it.
who I mixed Karen
You know what I
Allen
mean?
up with because I knew it wasn't Shelley Duvall, but I kept wanting to think Shelley Duvall, but it's not her.
Yeah, Margot Kidder. It's like
yeah,
kind
Margot
of
Kidder.
a little more like distinguished, like sharper features,
Yes.
but definitely similar vibe.
Yeah.
And I just could not remember that she was Lois Lane. It was killing me.
Wow.
But it was nice because like when I go see movies, I leave my phone at home, which is great.
Yeah.
So like, I had to leave it to the imagination.
Yeah,
which
well,
I
with that
loved,
movie,
yeah.
you had the bandwidth to think of that and watch the movie.
Yeah.
Because it was a pretty easy movie to...
And I loved it, man. I love the POV. Like that was, that was really. I wanted to read up on how they did that shot when he was climbing the fence, and they had to like invent like a not a steady cam, but like a rig to get up there.
Oh yeah.
And then what's his face? Like it's the only other flick I've seen him in since other than 2001. Like,
yeah.
and that also was another one where I was like, "Where is this Playboy from?"
And that's
What,
funny
the
because
hockey player guy or
the piano guy,
the piano guy,
the boyfriend. Yeah,
I was watching, and then finally I did the like fucking Leo, where I was like, there he is, there,
yeah.
Here I come. Oh, here I come.
Yeah, yeah. Like that also was dogging me, but I don't know. I thought it actually had like some narrative chops. I was picturing people in '74 being like, "Well, was he really Alex, right? Or was he really Did he really commit all the? Like, well, maybe it was him.
Well, we know it wasn't because the end gives us the
absolutely,
yeah.
But like the way that they sort of played with that made it interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think Halloween is all in all like just a better picture. Like, but it doesn't have that kind of narrative in like those holes, those labyrinths to it, where it's like it's all about like the imagery and like the shock value of like and also there's like a clear antagonist. Like the villain is like
Margot Kidder.
Yeah, for real. Like, Babe. By the way, big time.
Oh, you were talking about a clear antagonist in Halloween, weren't you?
Yeah. Well, I'm saying that like in like this, you can never see the killer. It's all the POV stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that scene with like the glass stabbing.
Yeah.
I thought that was shot really well. Like, I thought that was just
You're
like
really renewing this for me. Wow.
So-
when you first of all, when you position it just pre-Halloween, that gave it a whole new shine
Right.
to me.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
For what they were doing there, and the way you're talking about certain scenes and the labyrinth nature of it, like just that phrase right there compared to the kind of the straight line of Halloween, because you can see
Right. There's
the
more than just like
antagonist
chicks running around screaming in this. You know what I mean?
about you,
Like,
Tony? You watched it, right?
I did watch it.
We all watched it. I love this.
Even though
you guys had never seen it before, right?
No.
I do take a little bit of issue with what you just said, where there's more to it than chicks streaming.
Yeah.
Where I do feel like this movie, I'm channeling my Roger Ebert here when I say this, that this movie does not like women. This movie has a real problem with independence and free. You have to imagine that this is a time before a woman could get a credit card.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just 4 years ago, that woman was like assaulted on the Boston Marathon because she said, "Fuck it, I'm going to run anyway."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So I did have a little bit of an issue where I'm like, well, if I'm reading between the lines or trying to look at it through the lens of 1974, I struggle with like, how cruel it feels to women who are expressing independence, who are sort of, I know that like this movie that takes place in a sorority house where they have a matron and they have
you feel like it's
sort
kind of
structured system.
exploitative a little.
I do, because I feel like Margot Kidder is only crime here was saying fellatio. Do you know what I mean? Or the other woman, the original murdered woman, was demure. You know what I mean? And the price that she has to pay, the ultimate price for. Do you know what? Like, I know that maybe I'm looking too deeply into this.
No, I guess I mean
I don't like when they just exclusively.
But what about like?
I agree,
Olivia,
but I also think you're looking too
Olivia.
deep.
I probably
agree.
am. But again,
Absolutely.
like looking at it through
Different time, though.
through a different time, and then looking at it through sort of like, yes, through the lens of 1974, but also with a 2025 mindset.
Yeah, don't me too me, bro.
Where no, I'm not at all. But I do feel like there is a lot at stake right now.
Because the ghost of Christmas past is going to start coming to Me Too people. That's what essentially he was doing too.
I think like Olivia Hussey character, like Jess, there were like she stood her ground with a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Like the
Yes,
abortion
and I could
stuff.
appreciate that.
What was with her accent? What
that
is
was really weird.
I assume that she was just an exchange student.
No, what was her?
I meant to look it up and be. Is this?
I think she was. Was she British? No, she was Argentinian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that accent was wild, very wild. But like even she kind of comes out on top at the end. You know what I mean? Like she kills the dickhead.
Well, the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Not realizing that he's not the murderer. I mean,
right,
he
but
might as
whatever.
well be like.
But she comes out on top there, though. Which I liked, and like also the way they framed her, like his shots of her were like a lot of close face. You know what I mean? Which was I felt like really made her like a major protagonist to this. But like I get what you're saying. I guess no doubt.
Yeah, I do. I can't believe it came from Bob Clark. It's very impressive.
Yeah, who did fucking
just like Joe Dante has a very
and a
diverse
Christmas Story.
Yeah, well, Joe Dante made Gremlins, and what he make First Blood, and a bunch of other weird things. I'm really impressed. This really, you brought it back to life for me. I liked, the piano player at, when he was doing the not audition, but whatever you call it,
the recital thing.
Yeah, the recital, and the house mother, hilarious.
Yeah,
she had
was funny as hell.
pep.
Yeah. And the
presence.
And the father of the first girl who got killed hanging around for the whole movie.
Yes.
He looked like he reminded me of Bud Cort, the way Bud Cort looked in The Life Aquatic. I kept thinking, I know this is not Bud Cort because it's 1974.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I'll grant you that he did look like a turtle pulled from its little shell.
Yeah, Powers
and they put a little jacket up.
Oh, so now you're going at his whole physical nature.
I go in. Yeah.
He was very turtley.
Literally.
Yeah.
So we all watched it. That's fantastic. I'm glad that I saw that. I had always been interested in it, but I didn't think I had it in me to watch it.
Yeah, same.
The most exciting part of that movie for me was when they were tracing the calls.
Yeah.
And it made me feel in my mind like I want to do that job. Not to trace the calls so much, but to be in that sort of like switchboard center.
Well, what was that like? There was that light, like that small, it was like purple halogen light, like the size of a thumb. In those scenes, like it looked like the mainframe, like
I assume
whatever.
It was just some sort of like,
dude,
like a on the air.
No, I don't know, but it was like in the area where like he was like, I think I got it, but like I don't know what. I've never seen any like a device or a tool or anything like it.
I mean, bear in mind, it's 1974.
Right, exactly.
Pre-area codes.
Straight up.
So,
like, I was just like, what the hell is that? Because it was, like, drawing me in like a crystal. I was like, that's that's like one of the most beautiful colors I've ever seen.
And then you're going to make me go look at that again?
Yeah,
wow. This whole movie was really, really awesome to look at. All the saturation from the Christmas lights.
That red Christmas wreath, dude.
On the door. Every time I would be like, wow.
Yeah.
I have to go back and rewatch this. Look what you're doing.
So speaking of Eyes Wide Shut, I was learning about this week also. There's this emulsion technique, like it's called push something. I can't remember. Where like you take the film stock and you push it to like emulsify some of it, and it brings out the colors. And like in Eyes Wide Shut, that Christmas scene at the beginning of the Christmas party, it's like they're all like, that was like 1,000 times brighter and softer than it looked on the set. You know what I mean?
Maybe I'll watch
There had
Eyes
to be
Wide
something
Shut
going
this
on
Christmas
with like a lot of the shots in this, because that red
it's great.
wreath,
here's the thing: is
I eBayed that shit. Like literally
tell.
on the like, I got home and I was like, red Christmas wreath, like red light Christmas wreath, like Black Christmas. You know what I mean? Like nothing came up, and I was like, I want that, dude. Like it was beautiful.
I gotta look at that.
Little shit like that.
You can tell when something's been shot on digital because digital doesn't render red very well. And I know this because I've got like a digital camera, and trying to like draw red, it just the nature of like a digital wafer or the digital image processor, it just can't do red.
Wild.
And it's crazy. Like it just blows it all out.
Yeah, maybe it was like Kodachrome or something.
I don't know, but I love it. Like you could see the filaments of the bulbs
straight up.
Dude.
It
was great.
Yeah.
You know what this unlocked for me is the presence of angel hair on Christmas trees in the 60s and 70s.
Yes.
Try Googling that.
The cats would eat it, and their little poops would be like nunchucks. Because
so at least
the tinsel
you know
would
it.
go through
Wait,
their
was
little
that
bodies.
the silver hanging tinsel stuff?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, wait.
It's the
Oh,
stuff
okay.
that kind
I
of
thought you meant the
encompasses.
silver.
No, it encompasses the the whole tree like a cocoon, almost like it's in a cobweb. They had it around the lights. Like in Christmas Story, they had it around the lights on the tree.
Gotcha.
I have pictures of it from my childhood where the whole tree is covered in this white angel hair. And a couple of people didn't know what I was talking about, and I was getting frustrated because I'm like, if I know it, everyone knows it.
I thought you meant the like sort of cellophane tinsel.
And here's a picture on my phone of ours when we were a kid. But it was very prevalent. And some people would just wrap.
It looks like a cobweb.
Yeah, some people would just wrap it around the lights, but some people wrap
that looks
the whole
like an
tree
actual
in it.
cocoon. Yeah,
I know. So you go on Google, you can Google anything. Nothing comes up for it.
What? Wait, what are you Googling?
Angel hair Christmas tree. And it's crazy because it wasn't like obscure at all. Not every home had it, of course, but it was not obscure at all. And especially for Christmas stuff, you should be able to return multiples on any search, even if it's just photos and not really.
I mean, it looks
links.
highly flammable.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, trust me, I'm sure that all the houses that burned down from having it on the tree and all the cancer, the smoke got inhaled and caused
the mesothelioma folk.
Yes.
Having a real field day with it.
Yeah,
Game over, man. It's game over.
So I think I'm going to be going back and checking. I'll probably fast forward through the film to see some of these colors again, especially the purple light and the red wreath.
You'll know it when you see it, but whatever that device, tool, indicator is in the switchboard room, like, I don't know. It was this weird blue.
There was like a time where they would make those little jeweled lights, if you get what I mean. It almost looks like if you had like a tube amp.
Yeah.
Would have the same thing where you'd click the light and the glow would sort of like, manifest as the tubes warmed up.
Pull you in like a tractor.
Yeah,
beam.
and it had this like that purple jeweled. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's like a jeweled sort of like not a bezel, but a jeweled like lens.
Yeah. It's funny that Black Christmas is taking over A Christmas Story. So I guess I'm just going to disperse with a few lines from A Christmas Story. Does anyone even remember it? Well, I guess I'm just going to be the one here. Every line is a line, but, I love when the father says, you hear about this guy who swallowed a yo-yo? Yeah, some clodhopper down in Griffith, Indiana. And you're full of beans and so's your old man. Well, go on, smartass, and do it.
Yeah, I do like that, yeah.
Rarely had the words poured from my penny pencil with such feverish fluidity. Don't want to waste electricity. about the lamp. Dagnabbit, blow out the tire.
Right, yeah.
What does Santa say to the kid before he kicks him in the face down the... that was a good scene.
He
I
says
like
you
that
shoot
scene.
your eye
He's
out.
going to give him a football.
Yeah.
Right?
Is that it?
Yeah. He's a football.
He's like, ho, 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 or something, and like kicks him in the mouth.
Yeah. Ho, 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 and taps him.
Just the ginger little tap.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, that beating that Schwartz gets on the phone, that mother was horrified. Here she is just putting soap in her son's mouth. And the mother's just like, what? And you hear the feet go and just beating the ever-living shit out of him. She's like, oh, fuck, I just caused that. And she hangs up the phone. And
I do love that when she's like, do you know where he heard that? And she's like, his father?
I know. That's the best. No! And not a finger.
Oh, yeah.
And I also
what was his name again? The father.
Darren McGavin,
Darren
right?
Yeah,
he was 60 in that movie. That always bothered me. Always bothered me how old he was in that movie to be fathering. Look, don't.
I was going to say
a 9. Yeah, but this is 1939, early 40s. Have a 9-year-old son and like a 6-year-old son, and he's 60, and it's just. I mean, it made the movie way more believable than a couple of 30-year-old people being the parents. But everyone needs. I would hope that everyone can have a Ralphie Parker, Scott Farkas like story in their past, because too many people don't punch that bully back in the face when early on when you have a chance to stem the tide a little bit.
I mean, if you can put yourself back in that time, it was kind of like everything was at stake
Yeah.
back then,
Yeah.
and once the bully had moved on from victimizing you,
Yeah.
there was a sense of relief, and you're like, you know what, I'll just go on with my day.
I know, but I really think what I needed and what anyone else needed and what I hope I can do for my own daughter. Of course, Annalise is going to listen to this. And
You just go, I want you to take your hand and pull it back as far as you can and push it forward with all of your might into that person's face.
that's a much nicer way to say it. But also the scenes like when Ralphie's laying in bed waiting for his father to come home after the fight and he thinks he's going to get a beating. And you're thinking about that purple light when the sun's going down at that time of year and it's cold
they did
out.
that really well.
In the music, the soundtrack in that. I mean, and that Christmas morning. Look, the snow they have Christmas morning when they open the window. I've never seen a Christmas movie that made me feel like, oh my God, it's almost like being a kid and there's a white Christmas. Like the music, the strings they use and everything. There's a lot of magical moments, but we're just talking about the lines here, right? Like, I like The Wizard of Oz. I like The Tin Man.
Yeah, that kid was
weird. With the Santa Claus. Okay, get him out of here. I love the smell of tapioca. Oh, no, I hate the smell of tapioca. That was random. Okay, Black Bart, now you get yours.
I did like the calamity of the the robbers, with the hats and the striped shirts and the masks.
Yeah, they did that really well.
Was fun, yeah.
They did cut out one. They cut out one vignette of that didn't test well at all, and it was the most expensive one. It was Ralphie helping Buck Rogers win a battle.
Oh, okay.
And it was the most expensive one, and when they took it out, people didn't like it. They just thought it was just too far. And what he realized, that was the one that took place out of the house and out of the whole realm of that reality.
I know, but it was like daydreaming.
I know, but the other one, when he's blind, it kind of takes place at home, protecting from the marauders in the backyard. I mean, I'm sorry, that is just perfect. It looks like your grandparents' backyard from back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what else I noticed this time with the Chinese food place at the end? It used to be a bowling alley, and the sign up top is a neon sign that says bowling in script.
Okay.
But the W is out, so it says bowling and the W is out. And then on the door, it says Bowling House of Chop Suey, the Bowling Brothers. The duck they brought out, that was a surprise to the mother. They got real reactions from that when she looked at the duck. And then when they chopped the head off, she didn't know that was coming.
Weren't they kind of ripping like the Asian people?
Oh, yeah, they did. They had the fa-ra-ra-ra-ra
and
all that. I mean, again, another time. And I'm not going to whitewash anything, you know.
I was trying to I was trying to triangulate the scene.
Yeah. But the exterior scene at the end with the snow falling outside the house and them sitting in front of the window, that very last scene, and she turns off the lights, that's perfection to me. And what else? I love that line, pranging ducks on the wing and getting off spectacular hip shots.
That was amazing.
I had to look up the word pranging, which didn't come to prevalence until about 1940. So he might...
Never heard it.
Yeah, it's something to do with like an aerial attack or a hit in general, but usually aerial attacks.
Okay.
So I think because of World War II, it became a word or
a term.
Yeah, like a term.
Yeah,
so it's weird that this took place in the very early 39 to early 40s, and pranging was in there. You know, these guys like Gene Shepard, these writers, they were brilliant.
I assume that he probably wrote this as a retrospective. So
yeah, and over time, this is like an amalgam of a bunch of his stories.
You wouldn't necessarily pigeonhole yourself to use like terminology from that era. Do you know what I mean? If you were referring to the past,
You're not looking very Christmassy over there, Phil.
Oh, I'm chilling. Yeah, it's like, again, like I can't make it through the movie. I don't know why.
That's okay. That's okay, man. I mean,
again, it's no
look.
hate.
Everyone has seen this movie.
I don't know.
They're here for the conversation.
You made it through Black Christmas, which is commendable.
Yeah, well, look, if I had seen this in a theater, or like someone was like, Phil, we're going to the theater to watch this, like I'd be like, oh, I mean, I wouldn't walk out of the theater and
maybe
be like, this is crap.
Maybe someday that'll happen. I don't think it's going to radically change the way you feel, but I think you may find. I find it hard to believe the way you described it with just kind of like joke after joke with like kind of nothing else. Because to me, it's the opposite. There's actually no jokes in it. The funniness is just in the whole navigation of trying to get to this present that no one seems to want to give him, and the follies. But again, you know, I love that his friends are involved. And I mean, who remembers the feeling of coming up to your Christmas vacation, that last day or two? I never thought about the other side of Christmas vacation. Christmas vacation just felt like, well, that's it. There's no more school. You know, you don't think of it now where you're like, oh, now there's 5 days left. Now there's 4 days.
Yeah.
You know, I loved coming up to Christmas vacation.
Oh, dude, yeah.
You guys do anything fun on your Christmas vacations? You ever get into any trouble during one of those? Get a present taken back?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing was just like one minor deceit after another, just trying to stay out of trouble. You know what I mean? Just doing my best to just stay out of trouble, you know? And I would always find myself getting grounded or catching a beating or whatever because, you know, I was a bit of a spaz as a kid. And, I don't know. So
a bit of a spaz.
Yeah.
Never went anywhere for Christmas break. Just stayed home, obviously.
That's it. Yeah.
I don't know anyone who ever
like went away. I don't know. Yeah. That is weird to me when people are like, oh, yeah, we're going
skiing.
Yeah. Our family tradition is we rent a chalet or something. It's like,
you know what I'm doing? I'm getting the fuck away from my family. I'm going down to Granada Lanes every day.
Granada Lanes.
You know, stopping on the way to grab a couple candy bars and hanging out there all afternoon and just coming home to, you know, grab a peanut butter jelly sandwich or something and go back out with someone else and walk around.
Wet sneakers, wet back of your jeans.
You take your sneakers off, you flip them up, and like a car on its roof on top of the heating vent.
High top Nikes or whatever.
Yeah. Man,
and
remember that?
Thawing them out.
It would be a good day if they didn't soak all the way through your socks.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. But that freezing cold air, you get that little taste of blood in the back of your throat when you run in the winter when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I mean, being cold and being outside when you were a kid and having no common sense about the way you dressed was just part of growing up.
I mean, that was the deal. You know, we used to do this thing where in Lynn where the Commons meet up with Western Ave and South Common Street and it's like right next to the GE. There's like a big 6-way intersection. They've bulldozed it and they put a rotary there now, but it used to be a big 6-way intersection.
I remember that.
And the snow plows would plow all the snow, and it would be it would literally be like a 20-foot high snow mountain. And me and a couple of other miscreants, we'd always play King of the Mountain on that fucking thing.
Sick.
And basically, what that means is you try to get to the top without your friends tossing you off. And this thing was full of road salt and gravel and just all kind of like beer cans and just disgusting viscera and everything. But we would do it, you know.
But you're right, though. The high tops.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're not allowed to tie them. So you're always at risk of having them go flying.
Yeah.
You know.
And here, as an adult, I have some high tops, some older ones that I love and I bought.
Yeah.
And, of course, I'm afraid to let them get ruined, and then I see ones that are well worn in, and I'm like, man, those look
There's
good.
only
I
one
wish
way
I
to go.
could. I wish I could get mine like that, but I just
that
you
was
can't
the
get over
style,
that hump,
wasn't it? I mean,
you can.
Oh no,
the style that I remember was they had to be broken in a little bit.
Oh, they definitely did. I'm just talking about now. I'm
Just like
afraid
a pair
to let
of
them
Chucks.
get destroyed.
It's weird now where it's like people are very precious about the sneakers and
I'm not into that.
Like
there is something to be said for wearing a sneaker and a shitload, even getting it dirty and then hand cleaning it.
Okay.
Because like then you get like any streaks or what. I just did this with my Vans today, and like they're worn in and they fit your fucking foot.
Yeah.
But like when you get like, you know, the major blemishes off there, that's like the sweet spot. I think.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
We got a formula here.
Yeah, but you can't get like shoe cleaner. There's always that guy at the mall who's like, "Yo, nice Chucks, bro. Can I clean those?"
You
And I'm
remember
like,
that
no.
white shoe
Don't
polish?
touch them.
with the sponge
and the
thing.
really thin sponge, and it was at an angle like that,
yeah,
and you would dab it and dab it. Oh, here it comes! Here it comes! Start spreading it.
Yeah, it was like a big old magic marker.
Yeah, kind of like the spray paint markers too.
Yeah. They used that dye smelled amazing.
It did.
I was either sniffing. Don't call it. I was either smelling on that, or I was smelling on the model glue, the model kit glue.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
it smelled like oranges.
That shit'll, oh yeah.
Yeah.
That shit'll take you back.
Yes,
Unlike that Halloween hairspray on the rafter behind you. I forgot to take it out during our Halloween episodes and spray it around, but it doesn't quite smell like the colored hairspray. Nothing smells the same anymore.
I think getting a little balsam and cedar spray for the house, might be good too.
Yeah. Well, I got a patty wax candle. I went to the store and got it last weekend. When I texted you.
Is it working?
Oh yeah, I've had one for years, and it was just about out. And I was like, let me, instead of mail order this, see where they carry it. And I called over, and I was like,
And it's like, how long is, like, how many sessions, lit sessions?
Oh, it's a glass jar one, so it'll last me years.
Years?
Yeah. Well, I don't leave it going for like 8 hours or something.
I'll
light it.
I'll leave the house with mine going.
Leave it for a few hours.
I come home and it smells good.
It's a danger.
Yeah.
I mean,
I beg of you to put it in like a little dish with some water.
I pour water around it.
Okay, good.
No,
yeah, right. It's a glass.
I never leave my house with lit candles.
That sounds like bullshit.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was watching Tony develop his little tick there. I mean, Ralphie was an anxious kid too. I mean, I'm surprised you don't sympathize.
When I was
with
a
him.
kid, I was a little bit of a fire starter, and I got a lot
bit, yeah.
of beatings for it. So I got like a real bugaboo about like leaving.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
We were fire starters, and my father was a firefighter. So you want to talk about a beating when you got caught?
I can imagine. I can only imagine.
Chased my brother down the street once and beat the ever living hell out of him. I know I've told this story before where I lit a box spring on fire up at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
It was standing on its side, and I sprayed like hairspray or Banaka into a lighter on the hay underneath, and it just went right up and rode it down the stairs, and packed it with snow, and it was just sitting out there like when he came home.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Well, you're like, I wonder if I can just do it like, and it won't catch. Just do it super quick.
Yeah, no.
Just do it. Oops.
It's crazy.
So many stupid things. My brother would light paper airplanes on fire and throw them at the neighbor's house from our bedroom window.
Speaking of lighting things on fire,
that's kid stuff though. For our
back to the spot at Bald Hill 2 weeks ago.
You did?
Okay.
With who?
We're gonna have to take this out because.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're back from that now, and just so you know, there was crime scene tape involved, and that's all we're going to say about that.
That's all we need to say.
That's all we're going to say about that. Anyone missing anyone this Christmas? I know I'm missing my mom. I mean, every Christmas, I spent every Christmas Eve with her, even as an adult when there wasn't a lot going on. She would come over, and my sister would come over. Of course, I always missed the Christmas Eves that she threw when we were growing up, but it was a long time since we had one of those before she passed. And I honestly wish that I got the chance to talk about our Christmases with her, because now, there are a lot more shine to them in my mind. And not only to tell her how much I appreciated them, but just like, you internalize it so much, those things, because they're your special memories and you don't really think to say them out loud. But it would have been nice to just have a casual conversation about, remember Christmas Eves growing up? Just to even hear anything about her side of it, which was usually, because she was doing everything for Christmas and we weren't probably necessarily helping get ready that day.
She instilled the love in it, right? Like that, she's fully responsible for you being like Mr. Christmas.
Yes, in a roundabout way.
Not Mr. Hollywood.
No. Well, no, she is with that sure too, because I got my physique and I got my love for the sun and my skin color from her and all that. She did, and I didn't realize that at the time. The same way she, fostered my obsession with photographs. I always thought that if we had this many, families that were a little bit better off and still together must have had 5 times these photos. And what I realized after all is said and done, and I didn't even get a chance until she's gone, is to be like, no, we have this many photographs because she did this. Most people, it doesn't matter. You could have a family that's together and you grew up and you got both parents and you got 100 photos, and that's it. And we have thousands. And the same thing with Christmas. It was always contentious. She was always stressed. Money's always tight. She's, the day before, she works all the jobs she does. She runs the rooming house, and then she's got to clean and shop and wrap and do all this stuff.
Did she get a moment to like actually chill, like Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
She definitely did on Christmas Eve. Yeah, we all enjoyed ourselves on Christmas Eve. She definitely did. It was nothing but good memories.
Wrong.
Leading up, it's like any family. There's yelling until people get there. Not continuous, but there's even now
pandemonium.
Having company, until people get there. There's like, there's one person doing more of the work than the other, and you're walking on eggshells and just trying to stay out of the way and look like you're doing something constructive to help. But yeah, no, on the whole, yeah, she was responsible for every bit of nostalgic comfort that I take from Christmas growing up. Right from the being at Zayre's, at 11 p.m. on December 23rd, shopping. I love that memory. To going to CVS right down in Malden Square, a few houses away, and getting to grab After Eight mints and chocolate-covered cherries,
After Eights,
Crunch and Munch. I had to mail away for my After Eights this year. I just could not find them in the store. Of course, I could just eat a Junior Mint. It's the same thing, but
you get that little sort of satisfaction of the very opulent packaging.
I know. The packaging.
The After Eights are split into like
they're super
squares.
paper thin, and they come in the kind of really dark brown wax paper sheath.
Green.
Yeah, green. Yeah. The packaging isn't as nice. It used to be almost a black. The dark green.
I remember it having like a foil with an emboss.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. It's not as fancy, but it's still worth it. I had to scratch that itch. I wasn't able to get
corners somewhere,
Yeah, I have them in the house.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to tempt fate with anything tonight. You're just drinking a water, and that's it. Yeah. He hasn't touched a chocolate-covered cherries. Neither is Phil.
Not gonna do it.
I'm not a chocolate-covered cherry guy.
Wow,
they are like put it this way, if I was feeling well, I would have taken one of those whole trays to the face.
Taking it down.
Something about like getting through to the like that gooey sort of weird center.
That's the part that always drips down my beard, and I'm just like,
you got to put the whole thing.
Do you not know how to use your mouth yet? You bite it in half or something?
I don't know.
You're going to put the whole thing in your mouth?
They always surprise me.
Close you let it dissolve a little bit, and then you give it a crunch.
Crack it open with them back teeth, baby.
Which I'm not going to have anymore. So.
They're wisdom teeth, Phil. You got to stop acting like you're losing something. You're losing something that everyone else gave up and lost decades ago.
Phil, it looks like that. My wisdom tooth looks like
looks like the chocolate covered cherry.
100%. Yeah.
Wow, it's delicious. That's delicious.
Life. It really has a tough go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, how about the worst Christmas memory you have, Phil?
Worst Christmas memory?
I can't elicit joy here. I think I've run everyone out of gas here.
That's a good one. I rose-colored glasses. My Christmases.
Good.
Even the bad shit. I'm sure I've just tried to wipe out of the memory bank because it's the one time a year I really try to force myself to be happy and optimistic and positive.
We know.
There's always that. Yeah, I mean, like to me, it's like the apex of every relationship I've ever been in, which has been 4, is always like December. There's like the first December you're a couple.
Yeah.
Whether you got together in September or March or June or January, that first December is like.
It's when you ghost them so you don't have to get them a present.
Yeah, right.
That's what I usually do. Yeah. I mean, used to do.
Those first 4 Decembers with the relationships I've been in have just been like the most magical 4 goddamn months of my entire life.
That's
just
great.
The absolute best. But then there's the December after that relationship when you're not together anymore. Those are not good.
No, they're not.
Those are not good Christmas times.
They're not. I've had some awful Christmases.
So like, there's not one I could point to, but like. All 4 of those Decembers after those relationships had not worked.
Those are the worst.
Were pretty. Those are hard.
Yeah.
Like those are just like rip your heart out like into the trash can.
I was in the wilderness for quite a few, and my mother and my brother-in-law's family were there to, It was nice, when you're in that wilderness, you do get to connect with people you don't typically get to connect with, and you get a peek into other people's traditions, and if it's someone close enough to you, it's not completely odd. I mean, you always feel like a stranger when you're in those kind of wastelands of, emotional carnage, leftover scar tissue.
Yeah, but the Decembers, the first Decembers are better than those were bad.
Oh, absolutely. Tony, what about you? Just punishments and beatings on Christmas, and that's it?
Yeah, I mean, I got enough. I mean, there's no, I try to keep like a healthy, forward-looking momentum, I guess. I don't know.
Except for the drive to Dorchester with the swearing.
Hyde Park.
Hyde Park.
Yeah, we would go to my family and I would go to Hyde Park every year for Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And
you come back that night, right?
Come back that night, yeah. And
listening to Donna Summer the whole way.
You know what? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Christmas music, in the back of that fucking car with.
What kind of car was it?
There was a few of them, but the one that I remember the most was the Ford Torino, four-door Torino.
Oh, it wasn't a wagon? It was a Torino?
It was a Torino four-door.
What, was he acting like a cop or something?
No, Starsky and Hutch, maybe. I don't know. But we did have that wagon, and we didn't have it for very long. The wagon I remember for the drive-ins, and we would all be in the back, like on a blanket, watching like Cheech and Chong, like watching every other movie except for the movie that
was on the screen that the car was facing. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Watching every bit of softcore porn on the.
I distinctly remember watching Cheech and Chong, and I remember watching Temple of Doom at the drive-in, but not through because we would bring a little radio. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And, yeah. That was a good time.
Hey, I went to a Christmas light display down the street here, and they do it to music now. They had a lot of great music. They were doing
like a drive-through thing?
No, just someone's house. You park out in front. You tune your radio to 96.3, and they play. They had Jump. They had all sorts. They had the lights going to like Pat Benatar and like
Jump.
They had a bunch.
Very festive.
They had a little bit from every Taylor Swift album, like a medley. Like that was one song that had like a little bit from every one of her albums or something. And the Jump was a medley too. Like they did it with like 8 songs from that time period. They played like 30 seconds.
This is just
each.
someone's
and they were like choreographed.
Yeah, over on Belgian Road.
They commandeer the FM. Like they just like.
Yeah, it must be an open station or something.
And it's just like gnarly, insane Christmas lights everywhere.
It's not gnarly and insane, but it's they're like LED ones, and it's more of a spectacle than a Christmas real feeling.
Yeah.
Because there are displays that are very obviously Christmas.
That sounds awesome.
Do you guys remember that house in Peabody that had like that psycho festive holiday light slash it was like not only was it lights, but it was like a little sort of walk, almost like a haunted house. Like you'd walk through their front yard, through the backyard, and then back out again. Yeah, it was on a dead end street in Peabody.
I remember hearing about it, but I've never been to it.
Okay.
And they don't do it anymore, do
No.
they?
Like the people that were putting it on, they had passed away.
When did it go up
90s.
to? Maybe this isn't the one then. I'm thinking one I heard of about 15 years ago.
I remember that stretch near Kelly's in Saugus.
Oh,
where,
yeah.
like, every house would be on the way to Malden.
Called Guinea Gulch.
Guinea Gulch. Was that the Guinea Gulch of the North Shore? Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's where I would really like to make it. And I do have
Italian-American Gulch.
Yeah.
What's it? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In Orange, New Jersey, I know they call it G Gulch down there.
Yeah,
I didn't know we had one up here. Yeah, that's and I remember that. That was sick. My grandma would come out from Colorado, like just to make my mom like drive her down like that.
That's amazing.
That
I
road.
love the idea
She
of
was
your
obsessed.
grandma like straight arming you, like fucking like the Heisman Trophy to get into the car. Yeah, Phil, whatever. Yeah, let's go to the quick.
When was that?
Yeah, she'd just pound a bunch
still
of
go
wine
there.
and just be like, All right, Madeline, like, you're getting in the car. And we're like, let's do it.
Carlo Rossi isn't getting any warmer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Straight up. Yeah.
I guess we've been going there for decades too. It's funny that it has been going.
That was a
for
big
decades.
deal. Is it still happening?
Oh yeah, we got every year we go there. There's two huge houses on the main drag after you go past Target.
Yeah.
They're on the left, but then there's like two streets that you always kind of circle.
And they're going in still?
Oh yeah, they're
I'm
definitely going in.
I love that.
Oh yeah, and I have time off in between the holidays, so I'll try to make that happen. Jen will be here during the holidays.
Oh, nice.
From a couple of days, so we're gonna try to get something together with her
Next Saturday?
I don't know.
Or we might go see our friend Pam next Saturday.
Oh yeah. Oh, she'll be here the 27th to the 29th, so I don't think she'll be here this coming Saturday. But anyways, I should let these guys get going. Tony has to get to bed. We're trying to keep him on a good schedule, get him well for Christmas, and Phil has to go home and.
No, I'm going to go to Italian American Gulch.
You're going tonight?
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. Of course.
What do you mean you didn't know it was a thing?
I thought that was like a remnant of the '80s, or like.
Oh shit! No.
Well, I mean, is it? Well, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't go.
Of course you should.
Are they on timers and they go out at like 9 or something?
Oh, that is a good question. Where it is a Monday night, but I wouldn't expect it. I would expect if. Well, look, guys, we're going to wrap it up because Phil may make an audible and do the ride.
You got to roll through there in the Falcon, dog. That would be insane.
No, I wouldn't want to do that. All the windows would be steamed up. I bet. I can't see.
Oh, that's a especially good one.
Did you roll that one up? You really got to grind it in your fingers there.
Did you get a good hit of this?
What is it?
This is a fresh
the pine needles.
I wish the microphone that I'm holding in front of
he's holding pine needles up to his microphone. We've officially
and it really
inventing smell podcast.
Oh my goodness!
I'll give Tony a sprig off the workbench down there. I kind of have it hanging around the barn.
Ooh,
right?
Very festive.
But we appreciate all you guys out there, and we hope you all have a Merry Christmas. And when the weather is fair enough this winter, you'll be hearing from us again. And who knows? We have Nosferatu coming out on Christmas Day. We may have to call an emergency session sometime sooner than we plan. You know?
The vampire.
Yeah.
We're going to all wear those meta glasses and do like some bootlegs.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Okay, people, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Santa's coming to town.
Santa! Oh, my God!
Bye, Grandma.